Hello to everyone and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to continue with our project, this beautiful gazebo with the fountain inside. And we did this the last time. So now we're going to continue with the benches, the railings, and with the fountain inside. So first let's do the benches. We're going to start with cube and scale it down something like this to fit between these two pillars. Let's S and Z make it to be somewhere in the middle. Later on we're going to add human reference so that we can see how everything fits. So now S and Y, S and Z, and now I'm going to hide this down part so I can see what I'm doing here under. So let's go to edit mode, let's change to H mode and let's select this bottom edges and we're going to bevel them. Something is not right, so let's go out with Ctrl and A, all transforms, set origins to geometry, cursor to selection, and now it's fine. We're going to use custom when we bevel, and we're going to use these presets and we're going to choose cornice molding, and now you should add more segments. Now you can see the shape is changing. You can see, so I think this is fine. So let's select this top one. Again, we're going to bevel them, but just a little bit, and we're going to remove some of the details. Maybe this is okay. Let's select this one and scale it in like this, and let's select the top one and bevel, but we're going to choose this one and we're going to remove, we're going to leave only two segments, actually only one, it's okay, like this. Okay, I think this top part is it's done. So now let's mark some seams and some sharp edges. Also this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one should be sharp. So mark a sharp and mark a seam. So let's go to object mode and let's shade smooth so we can see is everything okay. Okay, now let's go back to edit mode, and now we're going to shift S, cursor to selection, And we're going to add one more cube, scale it down, a little bit smaller. S and Z, and now let's select this bottom face and this top face and extrude, enter, alt and S, and move them up. So let's select this swoop here and this swoop here, extrude, enter, alt and S, and extrude out. So now let's select these faces and this one, bevel, and we're going to go again to custom. We're going to use this one, cornice, and let's add some segments. Select with L this down part and scale it down, and S and Z to scale it up, and I think I want to select this one and scale it in like this. Again, select this part with L. Okay, I think it's fine. Now let's add mirror, but don't apply it yet. First, let's mark these seams and these sharps, because if we apply the mirror, we need to do it also for the other leg. And now when we do it on this one, we don't need to do it on the other one. Turn on the X-ray mode, so we can select this edge here. Let's turn it off. So this is sharp, this is sharp. Maybe this one. And also this one. And now let's mark a sharp, mark a seam, go in object mode and shade smooth. And I think I need to do these legs wider, so let's select this one and S and Y, and let's pull this. Okay, let's see now. Yeah, this is much better. Okay, so now we can apply this mirror, and I think we are done with the benches. Let's move it here. Let's unhide this down part. Let's move this bench like this. Now set origins to geometry. Now first reset all transforms. Set origins to geometry. Cursor to selection. Okay. Can move it a little bit in like this. And now let's add array. Remove this relative offset. We're going to use object offset. With the eyedropper, we're going to select this empty. And now select this empty and Shift S, cursor to selection. Let's move to top view. Let's select the bench again. Let's make 8 pieces and origin to 3D cursor. Now let's rotate. Here, now we should have 8 benches exactly where they should be between the pillars. Later on, we're going to remove this one, also the railing part, so this is going to be our entrance here inside the gazebo. But for now, we're going to leave it like this. Now we're going to continue with the railings. So again, Shift and A, Mesh, Cube. Let's scale it down. More, S and Z. Let's move it up. And let's bring it here near to the pillars. Something like this. So let's hide these benches. Let's hide also this down part. And let's go to edit mode. Let's add 2 loop cuts. Let's change to median point. Cursor to selection, S and Z, and pull so we can move them on the top and down part. So now change to face mode. Select these faces and extrude, enter, Alt and S. We're going to bevel, but bevel it's not working properly, so we're going to object mode, Control A, all transforms, origins to geometry, and let's go back to edit mode and bevel, and now it's working properly. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave it like this. So maybe we're going to play a little bit later with this shape, but for now I'm going to leave it like this. So let's select this inside edge and also this one and change to individual origins and scale it down. Add one loop cut and move it here down and scale it out. One more here and scale it in like this. Move it up. One more and bevel this. Change the bevel mode and make it 3 loop cuts. And now we're going to remove the bevel again, but make it one segment. Sorry, we're going to scale it first, and now we're going to bevel for 3 times. So we do again one more like this, scale it out, move it a little bit up, scale it a little bit more, and bevel 4 times. One more loop cut, scale it down, move it a little bit down, and bevel 4 times like this. And one more loop cut, scale it out, move it a little bit down, scale it a little bit, and one more loop cut here and scale it like this and bevel it. Select this one and scale it out. One more loop cut here and scale it down and move it here like this. Now I want to select this down part, move it a little bit like this. Yeah, it's look better. Okay, so now let's mark some seams and some sharps. This one is sharp, this one, this one, this one, and this one. This one is sharp also. This one and this one. This one. Here. Let's see. Mark a sharp and mark a seam. And let's go to object mode and shades mode. Yeah, we missed some. This one should be also mark a seam and mark a sharp and move it a little bit up. And this also. Mark a seam and mark a sharp. Move it a little bit down. Yeah, now it's fine. Also, you can select this one and those here, and you can set flow, and it's going to fix the flow of the edges. Now let's select this one and again set flow. Let's do this also for this one. Oh, without this one. Yeah. I'm sorry, I forget to mention that if you don't have this set flow and the loop tools here when you press the right mouse button, so you need to go in edit to preferences and find them and turn them on. So here is the one, edge flow, and the other one is loop tools. Now we're going to repeat the same process so far. So let's hide this top part. And now let's select this railing, and we're going to add array. We need 5, maybe 6. Let's make it 6. We're going to turn off relative offset. We're going to turn on object offset. With the eyedropper, we're going to choose this empty. Now select the empty, Shift S, cursor to selection. Now let's select the railing, Shift S and origins to 3D cursor. And now let's rotate a little bit like this. Let's apply and rotate again. Move it to here. And we are done with this. Okay, so Shift and A, mesh, cube, scale it down, S and X. Let's move it here. S and X little bit. I want to be in the middle, approximately in the middle here. Let's move it up. S and Z. Let's reset all transforms, origins to geometry. cursor to selection, and now S and Z, and scale it down. Now let's change the view and S and X and make it something like this. And now we're going to add simple deform, change it to X, make it bent. Yeah, should be on the Z, and adjust the bend approximately to this shape, and apply. Let's move it a little bit back. And now we're going to add array. We need 3 pieces for this array. Turn off relative offset, turn on object offset. With eyedropper we choose this empty. Now select the empty, and cursor to selection. Now select back the railings, Shift and S, and origins to 3D cursor, and we rotate, and we go to edit mode, Z, individual origins, and scale this a little bit up like this, and let's bevel a little bit the edges, make the segments 1, and I think I should close this gap here. So let's go on top view and check if we are in the individual origins, and now S and X, and close them in like this. Now it look okay. So we're not going to apply array and to turn them around, because first I want to paint them, and later on we're going to adjust everything else. So let's see how we are going. Okay, so now we're going to select this down part, edit mode, select this face, and I want to insert again. So let's extrude first, insert, extrude, insert. Yeah, this is what I want. Okay, so now with this face, let's go Shift and D, and separate selection. Now select this face, and with Ctrl and F choose grid fill. Let's hide this one. Let's check. we're going to use this face for the fountain. So I think let's hide these pillars, this stuff here. Let's choose this one and let's go to edit mode. Now select this face, insert, and delete the faces. Now select all, extrude and pull up. Let's add 2 edge loops. Let's change to median point. Cursor to selection, S and Z, and pull up like this. And let's add 2 loop cuts here, and again S and Z like this. Now let's change face mode. Let's select these faces and these faces and extrude out an S and pull them out. Select these edges and let's bevel them. First let's reset all transforms. Set origins to geometry. Cursor to selection. Let's go back to edit mode and let's bevel. And we're going to add 3 segments. And let's remove this sharp which left from the previous shape. So clear sharp. Actually select all and clear sharp. Later on I'm going to fix this. So now cursor to selection and go to mesh and symmetrize and choose Z to -Z. Let's turn on the X-ray mode and let's select these faces and pull this little bit down. Okay, let's select this edge and dissolve this edge. Let's turn off the X-ray mode, select all and pull this down. Okay. Now let's move them a little bit up and let's mark some sharps and some seams. So select this outside edges. Also here going to select this one, this one, this one, and also from this side, this one, this one, and this one, and mark a sharp and mark a seam. And let's go behind and select the back one and mark a seam. Let's go in object mode. yeah, we remove this somehow, so let's mark a sharp and mark a seam again, and now it's fine. Let's move this down. So shift and A, mesh, and now we're going to add cylinder. Let's scale this down. A little bit more, S and Z, like this. So let's hide this. Let's shade smooth. And now Shift R, make two loop cuts, S and Z to move them like this. Let's add two more here. Again, now let's select these faces and extrude, enter, out and S, and let's move them out. Let's select these edge loops and we're going to bevel them. Now select all, let's go to mesh, symmetrize, and select the sharp edges. So let's select this one. First select all, let's move it up so we can work under also. And now select this edge, this one, this one, this one, and this one, and this one, and mark a sharp. And now let's change to face mode. Let's select this one, insert, extrude, insert. Let's pull a little bit up like this, insert, extrude, insert, extrude, and again insert and extrude. And now let's add one loop cut here. Let's scale it down and we're going to bevel this like this. Let's make it 3 segments. Now select these edges again, extrude. Let's change to face mode, extrude, enter, out and S like this. And let's select to edge mode again, select this and scale it and move it a little bit up. Now insert and extrude. Now extrude again and scale this, move it down a little bit, extrude, scale it out, sorry, in, and extrude and scale it out like this. Extrude again and again, scale it out like this and extrude again. Now let's bevel this edge and this one also like this, and now let's mark some sharps. Mark a seam and mark a sharp. We need to make also here this edge sharp and this one sharp. Mark a sharp and mark a seam, and let's go behind and choose one of these and mark a seam to break the loop. And we can select also this one. And mark a seam. Now let's select this face and insert and move this down like this, and we can delete this face. So let's go to object mode and let's hide this top part. Now let's add a cylinder. S and Z. Insert and bevel. Let's move down a little bit like this. Select this top edge, scale it in, and select this one and bevel again. And scale it a little bit out. Select this one, scale it a little bit so we can get this shape like here. And now extrude. Select these faces, extrude again, enter, Alt and S, and extrude out. Let's select this edge loop here and this one here, and bevel. Go to object mode, Shift and A to reset all transforms, set origins to geometry, cursor to selection, and let's go back and bevel. Let's move a little bit up. No, let's move it back. And now let's select this face and insert, extrude, insert again, and move this down like this. Select this edge, bevel. Now let's select this edge here and this one here, and mark a seam and mark a sharp. Let's go to object mode and shade smooth. Now let's go back to edit mode, select these three edge loops and set flow. Okay. Now let's go back to edit mode. Let's select this edge loop, scale it down, switch to face mode and delete this face. Now go back to edge mode and let's select every second. And let's bevel. Control minus and check. You must be on individual origins, and Alt and S and scale this down and mark a sharp and mark a seam. And now we need to select this outside and mark a seam and mark a sharp. Here we missed one, so mark a sharp and mark a seam. Select also this edge loop here and mark a seam and mark a sharp. And let's hide this one and to see what's going on here. edit mode, select this edge, this face, sorry, and delete it. Now select this edge loop and mark a sharp and mark a seam. And let's unhide. So now let's hide again these parts here, and let's select this part here, and now we're going to go to X-ray mode. Let's go to edit mode, and we're going to select this part here and shift and D to duplicate it. Let's move it up and separate selection. Let's turn off the X-ray mode, object mode, and let's select this one and scale it. First, all transforms, set origins to geometry, cursor to selection. Now let's scale this down. Okay, so select this edge here and let's scale it in like this. Let's go back, select this part and move it down like this. Okay, so select this and we're gonna shift and D, move up and scale it down like this. Let's check. Okay, and one more time, shift and D, let's move it up, S to scale it down, and now let's turn on the X-ray and we'll select these vertices and delete them. Now let's select this edge loop. Let's turn off this X-ray and we're going to extrude select also these edges and scale them down like this. Now let's add cylinder. Let's scale it down. Make it a little bit longer. Now let's select this face down and this face on top, and let's insert and let's select every second edge loop and Alt and S to scale this in. Now let's add on edge loop, move it a little bit down and scale it in. Add one more on top and scale it out like this. Now select both of them and bevel. Select this edge loop and move it down. And change to face mode, and you can delete this face. We don't need it. Also, you can select this here and move it a little bit up like this. Select all with L and move it down. Now let's select this edge loop and this one and this one, and mark a sharp and mark a seam, and let's go in object mode and shade smooth. Let's select this part with L and scale it a little bit down like this. Now Shift and D to duplicate and scale it down to be a little bit smaller and move it a little bit down. Like this. Actually, you can, let's turn on the X-ray mode, change to vertex mode and select these vertices and delete vertices. We need only this part, so let's move it down like this. Let's turn off this and adjust where we want to be like this. And now let's select this edge loop. Let's fill, extrude, now SZ0 and let's bevel and move it a little bit down and sorry, let's make cursor to selection. Now we can scale this like this and move it a little bit up. Let's mark a sharp and mark a seam also. select these edges and marker sharp, marker seam, and this down part we can move here, and let's turn off X-ray mode and let's go to object mode so we can see. Okay, so let's continue to the other part. Now select all, deselect the reference photo and hide everything. Now let's move cursor to selection, cursor to world origin, and now we're going to add mesh circle, and now RX 90 so we can rotate. Let's move it a little bit up and let's go in edit mode. Let's scale it down. Let's shift and D to duplicate and move it here like this, and let's change to vertex mode. Now select these vertices and delete them. Actually also these two, and select this one and extrude. And now we're going to adjust the shape. And we extrude again. We need to create shape to resemble the leaves. Extrude again. Now let's merge these vertices at last. We can select this one and delete these vertices. And merge vertices at last. Select these two, subdivide. Now select all and fill. Now let's insert and select all and extrude. Now change to face mode and select this face and this one and cursor to selection and Alt and S to scale it out like this. And now let's mark a sharp and mark a seam, and let's select these edges also and mark a sharp and mark a seam. Switch to vertex mode and select these vertices and press J to join them. And now select this face and grid fill. And again select these two vertices, join, grid fill, and grid fill, and select these three vertices and move them in. Okay. Now let's try this one. Join. Select this face. Control F and grid fill. Okay. And let's select this face. Control F and grid fill. No. Maybe we should close this one and this one. Join. Select this face. Control F and grid fill. Let's go out in object mode and shade smooth. And let's unhide everything. Select this one and scale it down. Let's rotate a little bit and adjust the position. Now let's hide this element. Now select this and let's apply array. We need 4 pieces. Turn off the relative offset. Choose object offset. With the eye picker, choose empty. And now select the empty. Cursor to selection. And now select again ornament and Shift and S, origins to 3D cursor. Shift and A, reset all transforms. And now let's rotate. And apply. Now Shift and D to duplicate. Let's move it up. Cursor to selection. Sorry, set origins to geometry. Let's adjust this in the right position. Now let's unhide everything. So let's hide this reference and let's check what we did so far. So I think it's looking very good. Next time we will continue with the ivy, and after ivy we're going to start the texturing, and I think we did very good job so far. So if you learn something in these tutorials, please comment and like the video and subscribe. It's going to be very helpful for my channel, and see you next time.